Hello, this is Gerald Jovamas. People who watch my videos now and then will of course have the impression that letters are not only orientations but the combinations of letters will lead you to actually realizing what we are naming in the words, so that you can also realize what kind of formation process is formed there, so that you can also imagine the word as a form, as an object. And that's of course because I wrote a book with that title, Sound in Form, with an emphasis also that you can realize after a while that yes, something can be formed, that you can realize what it is expressing as letter combinations. But there is a problem, because not all the words are actually meant to be a form or to be realized as a form, because our orientation into the world is not just only looking into a form. There are abstract things, there are things that are not related with something that needs to have a physical orientation, so it is different. So I already told you from the beginning, now there are three categories, and these three categories, they switch also all the time. Our mindset that makes combinations of letters should not focus on one of these three too much, because that will make confusions. If you think that all the things will become a formal formation and that you can recognize forms, and the forms they blend into each other so that you can realize what's going on, it's only one category. The second category is about directions and so on, so it's already not so much about a form anymore. And the last one is about orientations. It's not at all about a form and formations. It's even you lost actually the picture of that focus. So when I have this background here, which helps you to recognize the orientations, the levels, I have separated them a little bit. You can also blend them into each other. But once you start to associate the letters as forms or as orientations in space, you start to combine these spaces and try to make them match and so on. That will make everything more confusing. And I did that a couple of times, that I said, okay, let's try it in that way. And we can do that in that way, but they could also confuse it a little bit, because our mind should be able also to switch very quickly to here's a form, here's a direction, and here's an orientation, and it has to switch with words that are blending easily into each other, so that they have an order that is actually an order from bottom up to the top, into a complexity that it really builds it up. There it will be easy, because then you can see them build up. But if you have to switch from finding a position and then suddenly needs to go to a direction, that will make it more difficult. So this example here, this video will make it more clear that the orientation switches that we need to do are important to realize them as quick as possible, so that we also make that switch. So not just stay into the form, stay into the direction, stay into the orientation. That will make it too difficult. So let's make the switches a bit more quickly with a comparison of the two words, foot and food. I will also take feet and feet with a T and with a D. And the last feet and feet, they all already sound the same, but the orientation in the end will be different. And that's enough to make you realize what is it about? How shall we go and realize what's going on in that word? Do we need positions, or do we need a formation process, or do we just have to follow the directions and the moves and so on? Or is it about, let's find out what kind of orientation we need to find out in this time and space context? No, let's have something of the two first categories. But first of all, every point of position has also underneath a direction, and has also a frame in which it fits. all at the same time, and you can use that in the background, but that's again confusing. The essence of the three categories, maybe I should emphasize them completely. So when I have them emphasized completely, I have them also in the background here, the first space, the second timing, and the third, 1, 2, 3, realization of like, okay, where are we here in time and space? In the first category, they are just points. So there we are, we have them, the points where they are, more or less almost enough to realize what it is about and where they are. The directions also quite easy, very directly where they are. And then the frames, also the frames have certain positions, and of course there are directions beneath it and underneath it and so on. The positions are there even not clear at all, but the essence actually is much more easily grasped by keeping the essence most into your focus. So the first 9 letters are positions, next 9 positions are about directions, and the last 9 positions are frames in which we try to organize our understanding of where we are and what is there at that right time and moment. So the F first, from the second category, is about direction. It's 1, 2, 3. It's the third level, so it's also, we will use 3 arrows then as well, 3 directions, and in between these 3 directions we will find 1 direction to take out. That's basically the F, where we will find actually the point of direction that we can take out, or uplift it as well, in a way as well, in a vertical way. So 3 options actually between, here is also a little bit already the 3 zones of the last category. So we try to find out what will fit best, and we will make a move. We will make a move, and the move will be done because it's still from our position. This move will be done into the 3 categories. Between the yeses and the nos, it will be our yes, we will make a move. Yes, I will find the move that I need to do. So there's no doubt. It's always between yes, no, and okay, I will do it my best. F here is, now I will take a certain step forward that I can take out. That's my yes, and I can take that yes direction out of it. That's the letter F in a good way associated and explained from there. O, just as a direction, the essence also of that position is about direction. It's a starting point of a direction, which in the beginning as a starting point of where I will make directions. It will be also, of course, my initiative also to make a move. And this with a double O will be engaged in the timing towards somewhere else, also between the yeses and no, it will be engaged, and then the conclusion will come here into the letter T, to a certain place. And that's why orientation for the foot. It's not describing the form. If you would try to look up the form, the foot, when you have a foothold, you don't need the foot. If you have maybe some other words with foot, I'm not realize any of them yet, but it has a position in the end, taking a position, but it's the initiative in the O, and the taking out the initiative in the beginning already, the engagement already, that I will make a move, and I will make a move to somewhere, is actually enough already as an association to orientate ourselves with foot. We're going to make a foot with this foot, make with this foot a step to a certain place. That's what we will do with the foot, of course. If you would emphasize very much on what kind of directions are there, so of course you have the upper move, you have the forward move, and so on, and you go to a certain place. Before you know it, it's confusing again, but in the explanations you already realize the order of things and what you're going to do with it. And it, of course, it will, the orientation itself, when you have about directions, this has, you can make something of it that you have that into a three-dimensional orientation in movement, and you see, okay, what kind of movement I have, and I have a cross point somewhere that I'll see what I have as an end product. Much more difficult to do so. I think you understand it already what it was, just simply by my descriptions. But what I will do is I will make a move. I will have this move going forward. You see already the contradiction, up and forward. So you have to lift your foot up from the ground, go forward, and then go to a certain place. You see, into the three-dimensional context, you will understand. In the drawing, if you focus too much onto the drawing, which is two-dimensional, it will not be so easy to understand. But just describe them, and you know what to expect, and you know what to expect with foot. Foot in the last letter is the last letter makes it actually a conclusion into a placement, but all of the other letters, F, O, and O, were about directions. Different it will be with food, with a little bit longer O, with a D. The D is from a different category. It's not about placement in space. It will be about conditions of movements. So we come to certain conditions of movements that will be our conclusion in what we will be engaging to. Some here you cannot say somewhere, but at some time we're going to go forward, because it ends not with a placement but with a timing. We're going to time something that we are engaged to. We do a step towards it as well, and then make a conclusion that there are certain conditions for it. So the D is that move also, but a move from a physicality that we will have conditions to it. Conditions that will displace the placement to the other moment, to the other place, because it's about the D. It sounds like T, a placement, but a T compared to D is a changed place or conditions. There are different conditions. We go to the different conditions. We move towards these different conditions that we will move ourselves to. And it will have this reflection of, yes, but what can it do to me? Because there something will be done with it from the D onwards. And it will create within the conditions that are described with A, an activity in time. It will feed me. It will have this highlight that it can do something to me into conditions that are timed, and that I go towards it. It will move towards it and it will feed me. What is feed then with the letter T? It's not so much about conditions, as I said. It ends with placement, but also A, although it sounds like E. The A, which is written down, also emphasizes that timing in that you need to that you have a timing somewhere, that each moment should be timed. So what is timed here? It's timed into space, because it ends with T. And of course that displacement upwards in a timing in steps actually is that what the feet is going to do with the letter T. And basically your mind goes so quickly to, yeah, let's lift it up, let's go towards it and make the step and make the steps. That's the intention which is lying embedded into the word feet with T. The D, however, as feet, is all about movements. The F is a movement, the A is a movement, the A again is a movement, and the D is a movement. So it's all highlighting, in this case, via the conditions of D then, all the movements that we're going to do. We uplift it, we go towards it, and we highlight it. And it's all going into one direction, where the D also, it's in blue there, it's from the first category. It starts from space, it starts from something physical, so it starts to engage us, to be engaged with the movement that starts still into a physical space, letter T, you hear the letter T, but it moves to different conditions. So you have something physical in space, but you move it towards something that can mean something extra, that it can change something, that it can be highlighted in that way, that it can do something more for you. And that's how you have to associate all the combinations of letters, and that's how your mind actually very quickly goes, not always to the formation process, which I might have emphasized a little bit too often, too much, but also switches quick enough from, okay, here I have a form, here I have a placement, here I have a displacement, here I have a move, and so on, as quickly as that. And this was a good example to show you the difference also when there's a letter T there or the letter D there. The mindset goes already to different conditions, and that's what my point was about. Thanks again for watching. Bye.